Ayakwe, neck now, Skip Lowry. I'm gonna give it a minute here for people to get on. Looks like it's still loading. Ayakwe, neck now, Skip Lowry. I'm gonna give it a minute here for people to join. As you can see, I'm not at Sumeg Village today. It is actually pouring rain here in Humboldt County on our coast, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm just going to give a couple minutes here for you guys to join. I did put on a title and some comments about what I'm going to talk about today, and I put on some links that I'm going to mention for you on the information about my Facebook Live today. So look at those, and we'll wait one more minute here. A lot of people, when I do work from the office here, ask if this is a real blanket. Yes, this is a real blanket that my dad gave me. And so, hey Dad, I'm using the blanket you gave me for a good reason. It's not a false background, so it's actually hanging up over the curtains. So anyways, I'm gonna get to it. Ayakwe Neck Now Skip. Coming to you on Facebook. I want to just quick shout out to everybody out there. Stay safe. I appreciate everyone following the hard responsibility of protecting each other and wearing masks and social distancing. It's all very, very important. And we appreciate you out there. And so we are bringing our parks to you, our interpretations to you as best as we can. And we thank you guys for joining us. I'm not sure. Oh, yes, we have some people on. All right. Hello, Vivian, Heather. Great to see you guys. Today I'm going to talk really quick overview about a Yurok dugout canoe model. It's not a real one. I won't fit in this. Maybe my foot. But this was made. This is a Yurok traditional model replica of a redwood dugout canoe. This was made by an elder who's not here no more, a long time ago, and was given to my dad, and then it was passed down to me, and so it's really, really special. It's older than I am, and I'm going to share it with you, and then I'm going to share a poem with you about a big canoe that has been in our community for 30 plus years that has some movement around it, has some spiritual stuff going on with it, so it's really cool. First of all, redwood. Keith, redwood. A redwood canoe, or like a Yurok canoe. Oth Wiyot. Okay, they're known to go on like the lagoons, the rivers, and we even had ocean-bound canoes. What's awesome about the Yurok canoes and a lot of the other local area canoes is they are considered like us, people. They have a spiritual being inside of them. And so when a man makes a canoe, it's got a personality just like a human. You see, I got a nose. It's got let's see, this side, a nose, cheek lines. As humans, we have a heart, pumps our blood. We can't live without it. We always give a Yurok canoe a heart. We got lungs we absolutely have to have, and we have to be above water to use them. We can't go underwater unless we got scuba gear and stuff, technology now, but we can't naturally breathe underwater, right? So we have lungs that we depend on. You can see up here, let me get this light better, these two crescent shapes. Those are the lungs of the canoe that we give. So it needs to breathe. It has to breathe. It has to stay above water. It has a will, a desire, a need, and a purpose to stay afloat, right side up. It has to breathe, just like we do. Down here we have two, looks like footrests next to the seat. This would be the seat, the pilot's chair kind of. And right here are kidneys that we give the canoe. And so Yuroks 10,000 years ago, this was the design of our canoe. We've always made canoes like this. So when they say Native people didn't have technology and we weren't uncivilized and stuff, all that's farcical lies and misinformation. We had high-tech canoes with um, spiritual properties and also physical properties like kidneys that we knew humans have. So we had like doctors and we had astronomers, and we knew that kidneys purify our blood. We knew that they did that. So we want a nice pure canoe with a strong heart and strong lungs and its own personality to carry us across water, which can sometimes be very dangerous, treacherous. The ocean is dangerous. The river can be dangerous. You have to show the water a lot of respect. So if you were going to carry your family, your babies, your elders, your money, your trading stuff, you'd want a really nice canoe that was designed well, engineered well, made by a master engineer. A lot of times they call indigenous engineers craftsmen. You know, they kind of squash down that we were engineers. There are specifications to these canoes, and these canoes are so sophisticated and have so much technology in it that it's kind of hard to describe. But this canoe floats right side up. You could fill it all the way with water, and it'll still float at the top, right side up. If this canoe were to flip over, the way this canoe is designed is it cannot stay upside down in the water. It rights itself. So it's a self-righting boat because it has those lungs, because it has that heart, because it has those kidneys that makes it pure and balanced, because it has such streamlined engineering and sophisticated designs for moving along the type of water that you're going to move through. So lagoons don't have very many currents, so you can have a different style of canoe, different engineer of canoe. The rivers do different things, and different parts of the river do different things. So you need different canoes for different, you can have different designs for different areas of water. These small ones you wouldn't really want to take too far out into the ocean. I've been on one in the Trinidad Bay, and it was like, wow, you're right next to the ocean, little bit of tip, and the water can come in. They had 30 feet long canoes that were ocean-bound canoes. And so today I'm just sharing this one, part of my collection at home. It's real special to me. Canoes were really special to all Native peoples, and they still are. We've used them in ceremonies. We've used them in social justice movements. We use them in day-to-day life still, going out fishing. The Yurok tribe is now facilitating, well, they were right before we had to respect that there is a pandemic going on, but there's the tourism industry. Yurok tribe is now taking tourists in handcrafted Yurok canoes with a Yurok pilot and Yurok interpreters up and down the river. And in partner with the state parks, soon there'll be a joint operation between California State Parks and the Yurok tribe on a lagoon close to here, a little bit north. I'm sitting in McKinleyville, California right now. A little north of here, there's lagoons. There's a couple of them. The one that I'm talking about is Stone Lagoon. There's a visitor center there that the state parks has operated solely since the history of state parks, but that's an Aboriginal and ancestral Yurok territory. And so we just had a joint powers agreement, I think the first in California State Parks history, with the Yurok tribe to operate that visitor center together as partners. So it's a really special time for the area here, in our district. Now that I'm going to talk a little bit about a canoe that's big, that's at Fort Humboldt. Now Fort Humboldt is south of here in Eureka, and that's on Wiyot land. And there's a canoe there made by the same elder that made this canoe, and it was made in the I think mid 80s, right before the 1990 somewhere. And the canoe has been a museum display. That was what it was made for. But these canoes also have a desire and a right and a responsibility to do what they were made for. So it's been serving its purpose as a display. But I've heard and I feel when I go into that room, it's inside, it's a dark, dark room, and I feel sad for it, and I feel it's sad. It wants to be in the water. It has a desire to do its purpose. It has responsibility, and so it kind of cries to me. It's cried to me. I've heard it, like felt it. Um, I've cried watching and being in the room with it, and so I wrote a poem for it because this canoe is in transition right now too. Uh, the there is the opportunity we could take this canoe out and actually get it in the water on the way to its new home at the Stone Lagoon Visitor Center. And so I'm really excited for that canoe. It could be a really healing process for the Native community and the public for this to happen in a really respectful way. Um, and so I wrote a poem. I'm going to read it right now. And then after the poem, I'll talk a little bit more about some of my other comments on my title or description. So, for the Yurok Canoe at Humboldt Bay. I sit in this dark place every day. The water, my home, seems so far away. The sun hasn't dried my wet body in years. The only wet I get is from my own people's tears. The history is hard to reflect upon. My reflection in the water should never be gone. I just want to be what I was created for, balanced, beautiful, easy to oar. I hear the pain of my people's past, but it never drowns out the forever dance. I know someday I will go home, for all life transforms after being born. My place with my people, and they are still here. You have to open your heart. They will speak crystal clear. To listen is power. To hear is strength. And I know one day my songs of lament will end for the bay. For in that hour I will have been brought home, a sacred sight, far from shore. What I softly pray might sound absurd, like lightning from darkness, silence will be heard. So that's my short interpretation for you today, and a poem that I wrote. And I'm speaking in that poem as the canoe. That's what I heard coming out of that canoe. That teared me up, and I usually cry when I read it. Now I'm starting to get choked up. I guess hold that in real quick. So yes, we still use canoes today. And in my comments before the description of this, Wiyot land and the Wiyot people were hit very, very hard by colonization and European immigration. There is now currently a fort called Fort Humboldt, and a lot of our native people locally will not set foot on that property because there was a very brief amount of time where native people were hurt extremely bad on that site. We're talking put in corrals, open no top corrals during all seasons. It's pouring rain right now. You wouldn't want to be outside in a little tiny corral right now. And so a lot of death and destruction happened to our people through contact. But now there's a chance for healing. And some healing happened in the early 2000s all the way through 2020, 2019 right now, and it's going to continue to happen. It's kind of unstoppable. It's supposed to happen this way. When you get hurt, you're supposed to heal. Like you try to heal, and there's a possibility to heal a lot of times. And right now, the Wiyot people are building better relationships with the local Euro Immigrant Society that's now here, that renamed their places European names. And so the link shows that there's a sacred island that they have in a bay, in our bay here, local bay, that has just been a centerpiece for so many stories. And there's time immemorial, it was a healing, sacred site that kept the Wiyot people's world in balance. It was very, very, it was like a paramount place for keeping their universe in balance. That's how I understand what I've been told from them. And so there was a long history of beautifulness on this place. Then when European immigration happened, they hurt that place really bad, and they hurt the people there. During ceremonies, during times of prayer and healing and balancing, they were attacked on that island. So there was a really bad thing that happened for a brief amount of time, when you think about time. And that's now in our recent past. And so as interpreters for California State Park, we have to acknowledge the hard things that happened very recently to the local indigenous people who have always been here, who know that there is beautiful things that happen on that island for eons, millennia, time immemorial. That means before memory. And they're going to start happening again. The island, go read the article. I got a short amount of time, so I encourage you to read that, the old article. Find the recent article in 2019 if you would. And tomorrow there's a really special event. So State Parks has a Facebook page, cover page, and tomorrow I think it's a all-day thing, but our district starts at 10 o'clock. It's their main Facebook page, and there is a king tide coming in tomorrow. So it's a really high tide. It's going to be like 8 feet high, 8 point something high, which is significant. And with sea level rise and climate change happening, it's drastically going to impact that sacred site, that island. And so they're going to be discussing that a little bit tomorrow, live for you, for us, for everybody. And I encourage you, I put the link there on the comments. And I just want to say how blessed I feel to be able to be a part of the state parks right now and part of the Native community in this time of healing in our local area. And then hopefully this will encourage this healing process and this rebalancing of our worlds that have had conflict into a unified, beautiful existence for eternity on. We've been here for time immemorial. We're always going to be here. We're here right now as Native peoples. And so it's just really cool that I get to share this in an official capacity. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to look at some of your comments here and try to respond for a little bit. How many could it carry? There's a question. It's 17. The lagoon ones are about 17 feet long, 18 feet long, and the river one's about the same. And you can fit 6 people, 7 people in it. There's pictures on those links of some Native folks in their canoes during this awesome story that's told. And I think there's 6 of us or 5 of us in each canoe, and we could have fit a couple more in, but 5, 6, 7 safely in those canoes approximately. Are there functions of the lungs and kidneys in the canoe? Yes, there are. Let me go down a little further. Oh, I appreciate you guys. I'm getting a lot of thank yous, and I appreciate the thanks. It means a lot. You know, teach my kids to say thank you, please, thank you, and I'm sorry if you hurt somebody, and take responsibility. How can I make it right? Those kind of things. So I appreciate all of the thanks from you guys. I feel it. So I made it to the bottom. There's no really questions, but thank you so much again for your comments. Look forward to next week coming back to you through Facebook Live. Again, thanks everybody, and stay safe out there during these very, very challenging times. And let's hopefully grow together in a beautiful way. See you again.